Canada's Transportation Safety Board has just released its final report into the Titan submersible disaster. Now, that was the underwater vehicle that drew international attention 3 years ago tomorrow when it imploded off the coast of Newfoundland, killing all 5 individuals who were on board. The CBC Smart Carcassol has been looking at the report. I've got it in my hands here. Couldn't go through very much of it, but it talked about what may have happened here.
Yeah, and it's not the first report of this kind being done. Various U.S. authorities, the Coast Guard, the National Transportation Safety Board have done their investigations as well. So we kind of knew the theme of things going into this report. And the report by our authorities does go into a lot of the same stuff. The TSB talks about how the material that this vessel was made of, carbon fiber, was novel for this type of deep sea exploration and not ideal. That usually vessels like this are made of steel and titanium. This vessel was cylindrical. They say typically a deep sea vessel should be spherical to help fight off the intense pressure that comes with going deep into the ocean. They talked about how the hull's integrity was monitored by 2 systems created by OceanGate, the company that was running the Titan vessel, but that OceanGate never really used those monitoring systems properly and that they weren't functioning properly. That the vessel, through use and storage and transportation, was regularly being damaged, but that no upkeep was done. They also talked about the company's structure and composition and, quote, as well as by the influence of power dynamics and social and psychological factors, saw the lack of identification and mitigation of those structural issues basically inhibited, and that the emergency response preparedness and safety management was also inhibited by the structure of the company. That goes in line with an investigation by the U.S. Coast Guard last year that showed that there was a toxic workplace at OceanGate which discouraged whistleblowers and routinely skirted international rules.
So now, when we talk about this, the TSB makes a number of recommendations as part of its report. Some are technical, but what should people know? Yeah,
their mandate here is to essentially protect various transportation types throughout Canada. They don't make any civil or criminal liability claims. So they've laid out 6 recommendations that focus on regulatory oversight, technical standards for submersibles, and safety management. They are rather wordy, but they basically, in short, ask the Transportation Department of Canada to define rules for risk-based oversight of various conditions around deep-sea vessels, create ways to get information from other government departments about commercial vessel operations to evaluate the risk when they operate in Canadian waters, advocate for clearer guidelines on design and construction of vessels, and ensure that safety management principles are clearly detailed and followed on Canadian vessels, aren't they?
Okay, thank you for this, Mark. That is the CBC Smart Carcassol reporting.